Hey besties, welcome back to the Cozy Corner. It's your girl Jen. If you're new here, welcome. Just regular college student Kelsey Dominguez. But if you're not new here, welcome back to the chaos. This week, I figure I would attempt a 200 pages a day reading challenge. And also, I'm going to attempt, keyword attempt here, I'm going to attempt to record a solid reading vlog because as you guys have known, if you've seen any of my past not frequent, but infrequent and quite rare and quite randomly edited reading vlogs, they have not really been the best that compared to like what I have seen like other YouTubers do. Jamie Falk, I'm looking at you, Freya Valerio, Ellen Catherine, Belle Reeds, or everyone else. Like they have like these really awesome reading vlogs, and I don't know what's up with me, but every time I attempt to reading vlog, I either can't find uncopyrighted music, or I forget to complete the reading vlog, or I don't read as much as I honestly should, etc., etc. Like I'm just gonna attempt my best, my very, very best to read 3 books this week, 200 pages a day, for a grand total of 1,214 pages. That honestly to me doesn't seem like a whole, like it doesn't seem like a tall order just because I typically do read on audio or ebooks, but this time, I'm not going to be using audio. I'm only going to be using either the ebook version or the actual physical copy. I will say that my reading challenge, not reading challenge, I'm like my TBR this month has gone pretty solid, but the only thing is I forget that February only has 28 days. And while that is only a day or two less, or no, 2 or 3 days less than a typical month for me, I don't know. I just feel like I don't have as much time to finish these books. I do technically have 2 more books on my TBR, along with these 3, so a total of 5 books left in my reading month, and honestly, or my TBR for this month, and that kind of seems like a little bit of a tall order considering I only have about 14 days. And while a little over 2 weeks is fine, to read a total of 2 books, that's like a little bit less than two, no, a little bit over 2 books a day. Sorry, a little bit over a book every 2 days. I don't know. I'm not really feeling the reading spirit this month. The will to read is not as high as before. I did just finish Akatar, so maybe that's why I did listen to Akatar. And honestly, like I said, 5 stars for the whole fucking series. It's one of my favorite series ever. But now I'm just like, well, I don't really want to read anything else because Akatar was that was it for me. And now I'm just like, nah, girl, you have more books on your TBR. You need to finish them. So the books that I'm going to be attempting to read this week in total are going to be the Belladonna book. The only reason that this is on the top instead of like the bottom, not on the top, but like the only reason that this is like in specific reading order that it is because I'm already halfway through this book. So technically, maybe subtract 200 or so, like roughly 230 pages from this reading challenge vlog, whatever the heck you want to call it. But I'm halfway through with Belladonna. I'm going to take a quick break and go into Providence. By Caroline Kepnes. She's also the same author that wrote the You series. Did read it when I was younger. Didn't mind it. It was fine. Definitely better than the movies or the shows, if I like remember correctly. And then the last book I will be reading Foxglove, and then in my own time I will finish up like Wisteria. So technically there are 6 books on my TBR because I don't actually have a physical copy of Wisteria yet, and I don't plan to get one in the near future. But first thing though, I do want to say when I was like looking at the books that I'm planning to read this week, last night, I didn't realize that these covers, not the dust jackets, but like the actual like naked book is actually fucking beautiful. So on the front of the book, instead of the back, it said that Foxglove is most lethal. It said that Foxglove is most lethal just before the seeds ripen. And actually, there's I want to say chapter 1 or chapter 2 of Belladonna, like in the first couple of sentences, it was like it said that it only takes 5 blackberry berry. No, it only takes 5 belladonna berries to kill a person. And that like honestly actually hooks you. Like I think the prologue for me was kind of like low key pretty cool. So like I said, the hardcovers, the actual naked book, I'm having a hard time articulating today, guys. It is just one of those days. It is Sunday, and I'm trying to catch up on everything for the next week, and it's just it's just gonna be how it goes. But like I said, these covers are fucking beautiful. Not the dust jackets themselves, but like actually the naked hardback book. Belladonna has the same. I'm hoping that by the time I get to Wisteria, I'm able to find another copy in a book off somewhere because I don't really feel like ordering it online because I don't know. It's just they tend to be quite expensive, and your girl is broke as fuck because she's a college student at Kelsey Dominguez. Hello. But anyways, here's Belladonna. The back, low key, I'm kind of looking forward to the fact that the FMC actually like her main love interest, her actual love interest is indeed death, and I will talk about this later, like what the books are about, before I wrap up this video. But like I said, I don't know. These books are just really quite beautiful, and you don't really see books like these much anymore. It's just like a typical naked hardback, and then like the dust cover, the dust jacket is typically like what's really nice. But like I said before, this is like the first sentence in chapter 1, so I'm wondering if the first sentence in chapter 1 of Foxglove is going to be it said that Foxglove is most lethal just before the seeds ripen, but like I said, chapter 1 it said that 5 belladonna berries are all it takes to kill somebody. Those are like really hooky words, and I fucks with it. So far I'm really having a fun time with belladonna. I definitely don't feel like I'm going to be putting it down anytime soon, so it's perfect for this reading vlog. And yeah, Belladonna, if you don't know, follows a girl named, oh my god, I'm horrible with names. I think her name is Signa. Yeah, she lost her mom and her parents like when she was really young, so her family, like, she's kind of just been passed along to like aunts and uncles, because in the will, in the like trust will, whatever she's gonna inherit when she turns, I think it's like 19 or 20, I forget like what the age of inheritance it says in the will, but she's gonna inherit an obscene amount of money, and so her family members have been taking her in. But the thing is, though, they've been using her low-key for her inheritance. Like, it said multiple times throughout the book that like, this person like had like basically invited prostitutes over, this person had a gambling addiction, this person just wanted to like invest in themselves and like buy a bunch of clothes, and basically like instead of using that money for Signa, they kind of just use it for themselves and took advantage of her. So after her aunt recently passes away, her, I think I want to say it's one of her uncles, they end up taking her in, and she's like a very the uncle's family is very wealthy, very well off, and so she's kind of hanging out in this mansion. Unbeknownst to her, this mansion is kind of haunted by like multiple ghosts, and Signa actually has a little bit of a secret. She can see ghosts. She can also see death, and death tends to hang out around her a lot, especially because she's quite interested. She's like Mau Mau from Apothecary Diaries, and I think that's why like I was immediately interested in like who the fuck she was, because I don't know if you know, but like Mau Mau from Apothecary Diaries tends to really like poisoned and like medicine. She's an apothecary. She just really fucks with it, and so she tends to casually throughout the day in her free time just build up her tolerance to poison, and so she has a high tolerance for poison. Signa, on the other hand, kind of different, but she also has a high tolerance for poison, and she's able to detect poison in different like foods and basic like stuff, like kind of like, you know how back in the day, like a long fucking time ago, there were specific, like there were food tasters, there were like people that would put on people's clothes for like the high wealthy, just in case that somebody had tried to poison them, it would be somebody else that like took the fall for it. So Signa's kind of playing that role, same thing as Mau Mau, within their separate, you know, universes or whatever. But whenever, like, back on track, right? So in Belladonna, whenever Signa tends like ingests or partakes in poison eating, I guess you could call it, death tends to hover nearby, because she's not just has a high tolerance to these poisons, but she's completely immune to death. Like, she cannot die. She's fallen from a roof. She's broken multiple bones. She's been near death, like, before, and like literally near death experiences, like actually. But death tends to just hover nearby to possibly take her soul. But every time that he does do these things, she doesn't die. So her and death have had a little bit of a relationship, and now death is her partner. Well, her like spiritual partner, while she has a couple of other like actual human partners that are helping her solve the mystery of their the mother's, like the matron's death, because her daughter, get this, her daughter, the matron's daughter, now is like kind of like on the precipice of dying. There's like a whole thing around that where it's like, why is she so important to Signa? What role does she play in her actual story? Like, you find that out through the book. This is like halfway through the book, where I'm at right now. Basically Signa is just trying to like figure out who's trying to poison her, who's trying to kill her, because she like has a significant role to play in like the daughter's like needing to live type of situation. So that's where I'm at right now. Kind of going to stop yapping. I am going to go quickly into just a plot synopsis for Providence, because like I said, I haven't read this book yet, and I do know Caroline Kepnes. She's the author that wrote the U series, etc., etc. But from what I remember, there's like these two people. So John and Clary, John and Chloe share an intense, near mystical bond, but before John can declare his love for his soulmate, he is kidnapped, and his plans for a normal life are permanently dashed. 4 years later, John reappears, and he's different now. He's bigger, stronger, and with no memory of the time he was gone. John wants to pick up where he and Chloe left off, until the horrifying instant he realizes that he possesses strange powers that pose a grave threat to everyone he cares for. Afraid of hurting Chloe, John runs away, embarking on a journey for answers. Meanwhile, in Providence, Rhode Island, so this is the place where it takes, healthy college students and townies with no connection to one another are inexplicably dropping dead. A troubled detective prone to unexplainable hunches, Charles Eggs Benedict, also known as Eggs, Benedictus actually, suspects that there's a serial killer at work, but when he starts asking questions, Eggs is plunged into a shocking whodunit he never could have predicted. With an intense, mesmerizing voice, Caroline Kepnes makes keen and powerful observations about human connection and how love and identity can dangerously blur together. Honestly, if you guys have seen that movie that came out this year where there's this couple, I forget what it's called, but there's this couple who are like very close together and the husband kind of starts acting really weird. There's like this really strange scene where like they're making out and like their lips start to get fused together and it's a whole situation. It's like a psychological slash like paranormal, I think, thriller, and it kind of like delves deep into like, I guess, obsession and possession and things like that. I forget what it's called. If I remember later when I'm editing this, I will put it up here somewhere. But that kind of reminds me of like what this book is about. Probably like actually no, this has nothing to do with the story, etc. But I do kind of like that there's multiple POVs. While I was flipping through some pages yesterday just for vibes, I had like seen that there was an eggs chapter, there was a John and Chloe chapter, etc., etc. So I am kind of looking forward to that because I love how I love when stories progress via different characters. That's kind of just like my own personal vibes. But anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping and I will start reading so that I can, get this vlog on the road and actually complete the vlog because your girl has an issue with that. But I will see you guys maybe later. Hopefully I can find some non-copyrighted music to just play while I'm like reading so that I don't just have like the silent treatment while I'm reading these little clips that I'm about to put in this video. But I'm gonna stop yapping and I will see you guys when I have more thoughts to say. Bye guys. All right, you guys, that was 200 pages down. It is the first day of my 200 page a day challenge. And guys, I just have to say, yeah, we did finish the book, but also like that ending. Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. Obviously, 5 stars. Like I just have no fucking notes. Adeline Grace, you had me there for a few moments. I did definitely catch a couple of those. What do you call it? Like plot twists and everything. But you did catch me for a couple of other ones, so that I will definitely give you praise for. This book, guys. Why is Death so hot? Why is he so cute? Like what the fuck? Okay, so as I mentioned, we're following a girl who's currently an or well, she is definitely an orphan, and she ends up getting taken in by her uncle, and basically she has to solve a murder before it happens. Her cousin is currently being poisoned, and she's trying to find out who done it. We find out who did it, but there is like I feel like between Adeline Grace and what is the author? It's the author of Stalking Jack the Ripper, Carrie Maniscalco. They have a really good way of like pointing fingers at different people and being like, could it be this person? Could it be the brother? Could it be the mom, the dad? Who is it? You will know until the very, very end. And like all the little breadcrumbs that she passes by. Oh yeah. No, every fucking bit of it. Yeah, this is a romance. This is romance in a dark setting, and it's not like a dark romance. It's just romance in a dark setting. This is like a mystery, who did it, thriller, will I be next. Like we also are able to see ghosts, and so guys, yeah, 5 stars. I was cheesing. I was definitely yeah. There's a dancing scene, there's a ballroom dance scene that I was grinning the whole time. Death walks in the door and catches her on the last dance. If that doesn't fucking catch you guys and bring you guys in to read this book, please. it gets better. It gets better. So, without any context, I'm just going to read you the paragraph from where these quotes come from, and then, of course, the quote itself. So, page 15, page 15. We're at the very, very beginning. This is death. This is death talking. By the time Signa understood what had happened, it was too late to help Aunt Magda, whose glossy eyes stared hollowly at the ceiling. Death hovered above her, bent to inspect the body, and he says, "Well, that was one way to shut her up." His tone was light with mirth, as though this were all a joke. And so, like, I highlighted it blue for me at least. Blue tends to me at least when I like reading books. If it's humorous, I'll like highlight it blue, and then if it's red, I'll highlight it like, is this related to the plot? Is it a plot twist? Is it foreshadowing? Something like that, like along those lines. And then if it's orange, I will highlight it. No, if it's orange, then that means I absolutely loved it, and I'm like, oh, this is so endearing. This was agonizing. This was what is it called when you, I'm missing the word. It doesn't really matter, but like the wanting, the yearning, something like that. It's different. I highlighted a lot. I highlighted a lot of these orange. I'm not gonna lie. I think I only have 5 like full quotes on here, but the entire book, I highly loved it. Page 40. Um, she folded. So this is Signa talking, right? She folded her hands upon her lap, trying not to let the bitterness creep into her voice. Because death is not only no, because death is only a reprieve for the dead, Mr. Thorley. It carries because death is only a reprieve for the dead, Mr. Thorley. It cares little for those that leave behind. I don't really remember why this came to me. I think it was just because like Signa was reminiscing on like her mom's death or whatever, but it was just something I highlighted. Another thing that I highlighted blue. So Signa peeked into the stalls as she Signa peeked into stalls as she tiptoed around the stables, surrounded by horses that stretched their necks toward her in an attempt to win her affection. This was my highlight. One of them went as far as to nip her shoulder, and Signa reeled back to bop it firmly on the nose. "There will be none of that," she admonished, smoothing out the shoulder of her dress. "Being handsy with a woman is no way to get her affection." The horse snorted. Yeah, yeah. Listen, this was only funny because like I forget why, but she's trying to go to the garden to like do some investigative work, and her and Silas, who's the stable hand, like stable boy, he's also the same person who like brought her to the manor. He's like escorting her there. And by the way, Adeline Grace, yeah, props to you for doing that love triangle. You did it very, very well. I'm usually not really a fan of love triangles just because you can typically tell that the author is pointing towards one specific character, but I feel like Adeline Grace definitely did this awesomely. And yeah, while she technically ended up with the person who she deserved to end up with, being super fucking vague here, I can't say anything. I really can't say anything because this is a huge fucking spoiler. But yeah, I did definitely clock it a couple of times. I was like, is that? Yeah, I see it. I see it, baby girl. Page 101. This is another one that I highlighted in orange, so I clearly really fucking loved it. I'm gonna read the entire paragraph. Oh, okay. So again, this is only like 20 pages later. This is where Signa is heading into the garden. um so she's currently stuck in like a pair of bars because she tried to phase through them and it didn't quite work. She got stuck. And so, that's better. I'm glad to see that you're learning. This is from Death, right? This is Death saying it. He was before her then, shadows reaching towards her, reaching a hand, question mark. Signa had never seen anything remotely human about death, but it was indeed a hand that swats in shadows. Here's the highlighted part. A hand that hesitated in the air a moment before his fingers curled around hers, life around them stilled, taking a breath, and then the world exhaled again as death pulled her into the garden. Yeah, this is like I'm fucking, yeah. I am tongue twisted up in this bitch. Adeline Grace has a really beautiful way of doing everything. Just the yearning, the hesitation, the like this man will fucking walk on all fours for her. He will do like he does basically, but like in a different way. He we a man who yearns is a man who earns. That's all I'm gonna say. The last highlight, we're taking a huge jump here into page 305. Because I was just eating it up and didn't really make any decisions to fucking highlight anything else. But I feel like I really should have highlighted more. I just didn't really think about it. But from here on out, it gets so good. Like the last 100 pages from 300 to 500 or to 400, yeah. This is the fucking ballroom scene. I'm not gonna really like I said, I'm just gonna read a paragraph and then like read the quote, but it's so fucking good. So Everett Wakefield, you find out who he is. It doesn't really matter, but it kind of does. Was near the front of the crowd. His smile was small and confused when Signa caught his eye for she missed the last waltz with him. She averted her attention and hated herself for it. He was a kind man, yet with the brush of death upon her lips, it didn't matter how kind he was. Death was her poison. Hello? Death was her poison, and all she wanted was to consume more. She thought she saw a glimpse of Silas too, and had half a mind to hurry to him and ask if he had seen anything. But Elijah had already had a flute of water raised to his lips by the time Signal walked into the room, finishing a speech for his guests. Blah 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 blah. It doesn't really matter, but it's like it's just yeah. She wanted to see Death there, but obviously he can't because it wouldn't have made sense. But then at the very end, he kind of low key does pull up and like pulls her out of the fucking ballroom to have a dance with her in the middle of the garden. Yeah, yeah. It's not even a garden, it's just like a field of grass under the stars. But like, yeah, it's fucking cute. It's so cute. I was cheesing over this fucking book. 5 stars. I'm so excited to read Foxglove, but of course I have to do what I said I was gonna do. I will indeed read Providence first, and then I'll get back to you guys and tell you guys how I felt about it. But that will happen tomorrow, or maybe not, because I'm gonna be going down to San Diego to see my grandma. She is gonna be leaving like this April to Texas. She's moving out of the state and it kind of really sucks. So I'm trying to spend a little bit of time with her. I also have to get my stuff because I have a bunch of stuff in a closet upstairs and I am going to be getting a storage for the first time. Yeah, that'll be cute. I will like keep you guys updated if I remember about it. But yeah, I will see you guys when I see you. Definitely either tomorrow afternoon or Tuesday sometime. I will see you guys sometime during this vlog because we will make sure that we complete this vlog and do it correctly, okay? So I'll see you guys later. Bye. Hey guys, it's Monday and I'm so exhausted. I did just get back from San Diego and I did indeed read the 200 pages of Providence and I do want to talk about it with you guys before I go to bed because I do have work tomorrow morning and I need to go to bed. It's already past my bedtime and I just need to talk to you guys about it because like I said, we are going to make this video successful, okay? Let me just freaking preface that, okay? So I did listen to this on audio on the way to San Diego and on the way back. I know that I said that I wouldn't listen to the audiobook just because I wanted to physically read it, but I did realize that for today and tomorrow, I'm going to be busy with either work and or the San Diego trip that I had today. It was successful. I got everything in my car that I needed to get. It was fun spending time with grandma. We had like a girls' day. My aunt's pregnant, so my grandma wanted to go like buy baby clothes for her and everything. Her friend came with us. It was like a nice time. We had breakfast. It was great. It was awesome. It was like 5 out of 5 day. I'm just so tired, guys. And it was raining. California weather. What are you doing? It is like the next 4 days just full of rain. And besides the point, let's talk about the book. Okay, so Providence, like I said, I don't really remember what the hell the freaking plot synopsis was about, but let me just tell you guys my point of view. Okay, so we're following a kid named John. He's in middle school, 12, 13-ish years old. He has a best friend named Chloe. And John, very reminiscent of that scene with the black phone where the kid goes missing. He basically gets kidnapped as a 12-year-old, whatever the fuck, middle school kid. He's bullied. He's got a hard life. He's got 2 parents that love him very much. Blah blah blah. His poor hamster was with him on the way to school that day when he got kidnapped. So God knows what happens to this poor hamster. But moving the fuck on. 4 years later, during this whole time. That John's been kidnapped. Poor Chloe, the best friend, has been looking for this man everywhere. He's her best friend. She like is super into art and she's just been drawing his face the entire time to like remember his face. Everyone's forgetting about him. She's depressed. She's dealing with everything. She's going through it. She's also like a popular girl at school, so she's trying to maintain these friendships and they're just going awry. She's also changing herself because of a whole bunch of stuff. She's just going through it. Typical teenage angst, right? By the way, this I don't fucking remember what book it was before. I think it was the fucking Belladonna book. I was looking for a word. I said agony. I meant angst. The angst in that book is awesome, but that's besides the fucking point. 4 years later, John comes back. He ends up waking up from a coma. He reads some letter and some book from like the random guy that kidnapped him, and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" He supposedly now all of a sudden has these powers. Unbeknownst to him, every time he tries to get close to somebody and has Jamotions, if you've watched Gumbus on Instagram, the gato Gumbus, he's fucking adorable and he uses, anyway, besides the point, whenever he has emotions towards somebody, good or bad or whatever, those persons end up having like a nosebleed and they end up dying shortly after via heart attack. Let's pen this like years later, right? So obviously John is trying to stay away from Chloe, and Chloe is trying to find out what the fuck's going on with John. They're texting over whatever the fuck, but John just can't get close to her because of obvious reasons. You know, he might accidentally kill her, and he's trying not to do that because she's the love of his life. We kind of span time very quickly with this novel. It'll be like 4 years later, 5 years later, 1 year later, and we're just like, okay, I guess we just need to span time with this novel. I don't have a fucking problem with it. It's fine. It's whatever. The story is still going on. We're also now following this guy's point of view. His name is Eggs. Eggs Benedictus. Yeah, I still think it's silly, but it's fine. He's a detective, and he's starting to see a pattern, but we'll get to it in a second of why this is like not necessarily uncommon for this guy. He gets to, a hunch, a gut feeling, if you will, of this pattern of people just like dying from at a young age, seemingly no health issues, no family medical history. Like there's no reasons why they could these kids could have died. These young people, young adults could have died. They're like from the ages of like early 20s to like maybe 25, 30. 26 I think is like the oldest person that died, but regardless, he's starting to see these people are dying of a heart attack, and you're like, okay, what the hell is like the issue here? Like, why are these people dying? He has a gut feeling, he doesn't know what the fuck to do with it, but people are looking at him weird because these gut feelings in the past have gotten him nowhere, and he's kind of just known as like the crazy guy that works at the police force, or rather the detective unit, whatever the fuck you want to call it. His wife's kind of on his bullshit. She's like, listen, you have all these boxes of all these code cases that you will not let go. You need to let this fucking case go. I'm so over your shit. And Eggs Benedictus is kind of like noticing that his wife is pulling away from him. She's definitely like over his bullshit. They've been married for a very long time. He's like in his 40s or 50s or 60s, I fucking forget. And so he's kind of seeing like a possible divorce in the near future, right? So he's trying to get his shit together, but he also just can't get this fucking case out of his head. He doesn't understand why all these people are dying, and he just wants to figure it the fuck out, right? So at this point, it's kind of really hard for John because we kind of like go back and forth between Chloe, John, and Egg's point of view. John is just having a hard time. Like Chloe's like living her best life. She's like a fucking artist. She does have like issues with like intimacy because of obvious reasons. She like kind of goes back and forth with like random guys, midnight flings, whatever the fuck. Like doesn't matter. She's just on living her best life, thinking about this guy, and it just doesn't work out. John, on the other hand, finally meets somebody that seemingly doesn't die when he kisses her. And so they have intimate relations, and before anything can go really further, he's still a virgin at this point, by the way. Fucking beyond me. I hope that he gets his rocks off somehow, because I would go batshit if I couldn't. Okay, moving the fuck on. Let's keep this PG-13, right? So he ends up having intimate relationships with her, but it doesn't go too much farther than making out because lo and behold, she dies. And so at first, when he kissed her and she didn't die, he thought that, his fucking stuff was cured and that he could, like, go meet Chloe and, have a happily ever after. That didn't work out. He got close to her. She had a nosebleed. He's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. She also fainted, and he's like, that's bad too. That's like really, really bad. We gotta go. We gotta get out of Dodge, whatever. So he runs away. Chloe's left like, fuck, I swear he was here. I had a nosebleed. I know he was here. I only ran nosebleed whenever the fuck he's around. But also, I'm just tired. I need to get fucking rest. But also, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just a girl, right? So she ends up having intimate relations with a friend that she had previously. Meanwhile, Eggs Benedictus is like, sorry, let me just backtrack real quick. So the reason that John, when he was originally kissing this random girl that he met, like, and had a decent relationship with, moving up to this point, the reason that she didn't die previously is because her cat, who seemingly ran away, and unfortunately took the fall for his actions. And then when he realized that, she's now dead, her fish that she has in her pond are also, or her tank or whatever at home, are also like half dead. Like half of them in the tank are dead because she has a lot of fish. And then he finds her cat in the closet, just dead. And he's like, damn, the reason that she didn't die last time is because her poor cat took the fall. Yeah, so Eggs is kind of like starting to piece the puzzle, piece the puzzles together. Yes, I'm so tired, guys. I'm sorry. And he's realizing that this guy, he finally has a lead, right? So he realizes that this guy's a paper guy. He like delivers papers to people, and up until her street, and before, people had gotten their papers, but after her street, people have not, or after her house, whatever the fuck you want to call it, nobody has gotten their papers for the day. So he's like, clearly this man works for a paper company. There's a lead. I gotta follow it because he just can't let go of his gut feelings, right? But he's not wrong. Like, somebody is indeed killing all these people. He just doesn't know what the fuck else is going on. And so, that's where I stopped. Okay, I'm fucking exhausted. I have like, sorry if the audio was weird. I was having a texture issue with my hair and the sweat and whatever. But I'm tired. Okay, listen, you can tell. I have like 160 pages left or something like that in this book. I think it's 363 pages total. I will finish the rest of it tomorrow, and hopefully, I'm not too exhausted by the time I get home to tell you about it because tomorrow is Tuesday and I have work. I will 100% be finishing this by tomorrow. But the question of whether you guys get my feedback and my final thoughts and everything, um, tomorrow night or Wednesday morning will be another question. And then we get to start Foxglove. I'm excited, guys. If I could finish. No, I was going to say, if I could finish Foxglove by Thursday, I could probably finish Wisteria by Sunday. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. I'm tired. I'm not going to do it. I will not push myself that far. If it does happen, sure, I'll record it, my thoughts, whatever. But what I'm going to do for that book, if I decide to weed with Wisteria, no, read Wisteria before that point, I'll just give you my final thoughts in my reading vlog, and I will stop this vlog by the time I finish Foxglove because I just know myself. If I give myself too much stuff to do, it'll turn into a chore, and then my ADHD brain is like, I don't want to do it. Procrastination, um, and everything else. But yeah, I'm gonna cut it off for now because I'm fucking tired. But I will see you guys tomorrow for more thoughts on Providence. So far, it's pretty good. I recommend it. So far, it's sitting at like a 3.75, but that's kind of like my average rating for thrillers. And Providence, I mean, Caroline Kepnes as an author is pretty decent anyway. Oh, guys, by the way, real quick, like awesome thought. Like I was mentioning earlier, if I think I did, right? All of my stuff from my grandma's like the mission was completed, right? It was a success. And we did like shenanigans afterwards. But my car is filled with books that was all in the closet. And first of all, I'm so excited that I was able to get it into my car, but also, and you need to also have space if I need to go to Costco, I mean, Sam's Club, and like do a Sam's Club run. Like I do have space. But besides the point, I have all of my books now, and I'm not going to do it because this all is going to go into storage once the rain stops and everything. But I could theoretically just fucking pull up like a whole TBR because technically I haven't read, I want to say like a solid 30% of my books that I actually have at home and now actually have in my own possession. So maybe one day I will make a new box of like books that I haven't read yet on my stuff, and then actually do another thing where it's like my new TBR will be the books that I haven't read in a very long time, and they'll be rereads as an adult because the last time I read these books were like 16 through 18, something like that. So, or no, more like 14 through 18 because it was like all high school era. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. That's enough yapping for me. Just vibes, I guess. Bye. Caroline, Miss Caroline Kepnes, you already know what I'm going to say. What the fuck was this? Like, actually, what the fuck was this? Okay. Listen, I really have no words for how kerfuffled and confuzzled and perplexed I am just because of how interesting that ending played out. Now, okay, so you guys already know the basic line of this, right? The rest of that book onward, I think we were at what, 60% roughly around that mark. I don't want to say not a lot happens, but stuff happens. One could say a lot happens, but like one could also say like just truly what the fuck was that? Okay, so I want to I want to articulate thoughts into this book. I give this a 3.75 stars. That is what I give this, meaning it is good enough to read. It is good enough to obtain your own thoughts about this and share it with your friend. But like also, okay, so when John wakes up, he's given a book, or rather, he's left with a book and a letter from the person who kidnapped him, right? Presumably. This book basically is like a really, really short 150-page novella, something like that, about a monster who ends up basically killing himself at the very end. And in this book, apparently, it goes into his, like, you follow him from childhood into adulthood into what he does at the very end and how his end comes to be. I will say that ending is different because, of course, it's meant to be. I will say it's left open ended. And if one has watched that Beauty and the Beast adaptation on Netflix where this guy who was in the military had was experimented on, and he gets out, he falls in love with the woman, and I think she's on the police force. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but basically she ends up trying to protect him. He has a friend who's like an underground hacker guy that's like his bestie, and so that's how they're living. But the point is, it's very similar, as in Chloe is obviously the romantic love interest in this book. Eggs, the detective, becomes not really, but kind of adjacent, similar in character to the nerdy friend in the basement doing hacker stuff, but not at all in the sense of him actually being a nerdy kid in the basement doing hacker stuff. This is a whole man that basically says, listen, not my business. I did not see you. I did not hear you. I will not talk about you because I don't know you. So I'm just going to mind my business way over here. I'm too old for this. I beat cancer and I'm going to, live the rest of my life out with my wife over this way. Right. So Chloe and what is his name? John basically leave the book like, we're going to figure this out. We're going to talk to some scientist peoples and we're going to figure this shit out. And then we just leave the book open ended. So seemingly, John, up to the reader of like what possible life he could live at the end of this. Me personally, I'm gonna be like, well, Chloe finds a mad scientist and John, gets cured and whatever the fuck happily ever after, right? I will say that there is an interesting point at the end of this book. Like I guess you could say it's the climax. There is not really a third part conflict. It's just like this is not a typical romance novel. Obviously, it's not meant to be. If you know Caroline Kepnes, if you watched the youth show on Netflix, it's not. It's a romance thriller, whatever the fuck, right? It's conflicted, and I am conflicted of my thoughts on this book. I enjoyed it. I will say that if I read it, this is one of those situations, rare and far between, that I kind of preferred the audio because I feel like if I read this, I would confuse the fuck out of myself, and I would be probably reading this way too late at night, to where my dumb brain on a good day can't put anything together in the latest fucking night, and I would just be like, I'm confused. I'm not doing it anymore. Goodbye. Good night. I'm DNFing this. So I am glad that I did this on audio. But yeah, I read the what was it, 163 pages or something like that was left on this book, and I also today my own free time read 140, 50, 60, 70, something in that range. I read over 100 pages today of Kiss Her Once for Me. That will be done in my thoughts on those, but down the book because one I haven't even read it yet, like fully. But also it has nothing to do with this vlog. This was just like my own personal pleasure reading time, whatever the fuck at work, right? So you will have my thoughts on that book at the very end. So far, it's all right. It's fine. I'm kind of confused, but you know what else is fucking new. But yeah, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I hit up my friend for a dolly, and my car now officially. Well, my car is still the same. Why the fuck am I bringing that up? I got a storage. Yeah, I did that. And then tomorrow morning at 6 in the morning, I'm going to pull up to said storage with the dolly, unload my car, load it back up, probably in between my last time, and then do another stuff. But yeah, my car situation and my stuff situation and whatever the fuck is going great. That's like the update of the day. I am going to go to bed. As you can see in my PJs. Don't judge me. I personally prefer a little robe, gown, night long shirt, dress, whatever the fuck, if you will, because I don't know about y'all, but low key, the man on Instagram that posted this, that was like, you know what, it's really simple to just like gank her up, squat, do the business in like the middle of the night, put it down, go back to bed. Hell yeah. So yeah, super random, but hey, it's Jen. What the fuck else is new, right? I will see you guys tomorrow with more thoughts on Foxglove, and we will start that journey together. Good night. Hey guys, it is indeed Saturday, the 21st of February, but I can tell you that Thursday and Friday I did read my 200 pages a day. I just didn't have the time, will, or effort to go ahead and talk to you guys about it. So, if you don't know, Foxglove was my book that I was supposed to be reading, and I did totally finish it. Highly recommend. I think I gave this one a 4.5 stars on Goodreads. It was like really solid. There were a couple of times where it like dragged on, or like some of the pacing was like slightly off, but I can say I did thoroughly enjoy this. Definitely caught the plot twist and that ending, totally caught it a million miles away. But I can say that Adeline Grace, I still love your writing, I still love your story. So like I had a really good time. If you don't know, Foxglove follows the events immediately after Belladonna. I won't say what those events are just because of plot not plot twist, but spoiler stuff reasons, but I can say that now Signa has another murder to solve, and I can say this murder, if not solved, if not taken care of, a framed man will get killed off, if that makes sense. So the entire book spans Signa trying to solve this murder, while also, for reasons that you find out later, is unable to really have conversations, talk to slash be with death, even though he's around, because of a bargain that she makes with fate. I love this line at the end of book one. Basically, fate is on the ground with the murdered person, and they're like, I guess in my head, it's probably not how it happened, but in my head, this is how I'm picturing it. Again, I'm pretty sure that this isn't how it happens, but Fate is like on the ground touching the dead person's like pulse to see if they're alive, and then he turns to Signa and he's like, well, girl, you have another oh no, I'm pretty sure he uses the little bird term, but he's like, well, little bird, you have another murder on your hands. And I loved that intro because we are introduced to the concept of fate in the beginning of Belladonna. And so to see him like make his introduction into the book, yeah, I was having a good time. I was like, damn, girl, you're gonna be that sassy. Like he definitely gives Jax vibes from Once Upon a Broken Heart. Really enjoying it. I'm currently reading Wisteria, and that follows Blythe and Fate's story. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. They hate each other. It's definitely a significant dislike to love. I'm gonna enjoy every second of that angst, that torture, that just I hate you so much, calling you names. It's awesome. But let's get back to Foxglove, right? So, like I said, for some reason, Signa and Death are not able to communicate, but Signa is still trying to solve this murder because if she doesn't, somebody else is gonna die because they're framed for this person's murder, right? So Blythe, on the other hand, is also starting to take another significant role in the story because she's starting to learn that somebody she loved who died in the first book may have been killed by somebody she cares about currently. And if that is the case, she's really upset. So we're following her perspective and her some like small connection to fate while also accidentally meddling with death and Signa's relationship. It is an entire, not love trapezoid, but it's like your cousin is meddling into my relationship. Get the fuck out. That is kind of how Signa's kind of partake in this whole situation. I can say that the ending of Foxglove, like I said, I did definitely call it, but I will say I did mostly enjoy it. Like I said, there were a couple of pacing issues just at the end to make sure, and I feel like those pacing issues were more like we need to have a little bit more information so that 100% of this stuff makes sense. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, I will say this reading vlog was like maybe 60% past, like 60% completed, and like 30% like maybe not so much, but like hey, I've read the books. I did indeed complete this reading vlog, and I would call this a success for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I will work on the next time that I decide to get a random hair at my ass to do a reading vlog that I will do it correctly or as correctly as possible. I will say by Wednesday, it was really hard for me to, how do I say this, read because it was school and then I had work and then I had work again. And then here we are on Saturday and now I had time to talk to you guys. And honestly, life just gets in the way, but that is totally okay. Wherever you're at in life is wherever you're going to be. And then all you need to know is that every day you're working towards a brand new thing and a better thing, and that's really all that matters. And so I really appreciate you guys following along this video with me. I did have a lot of fun filming it, and I know I'm so sorry I did not get a whole lot of filmage, if you will, of me actually reading any books besides Belladonna, but that is another thing that I'll have to work on. The more you learn, the more you know, the more that you have fun and do it also. I don't know fucking know what I'm talking about, but regardless, thank you so much for watching the video. Go ahead and click that like, comment, and subscribe button. Definitely also hit that notification bell so you never miss when I upload a brand new video. Hit the hype button. I guess that's like a new thing that's going around. And if you're confused on what to comment down below, let me know if you've read the Belladonna trilogy or if you've read anything else by Adeline Grace, and honestly what I should read next. You know what I'm saying? So I will see you guys next week for a brand new video. I believe I'm going to be going over my March and April TBR, that'll be fun because I am delving into, guys, guess what? The Zodiac Academy, and that will be a whole excursion adventure situation in and of itself. But I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.